All right, it's about that time. All right, lovely people, welcome, welcome. Tonight is the first of many of the Get Unstuck and Stay That Way Overcomers series. I'm so excited because I am in the Triumphant Living Studios with not one, but two of my most awesome friend guests. I brought some help tonight to help the listeners get unstuck. Yes, wherever you have found yourself in life, right here, right now, on this Thursday, May the 20th, is your opportunity to get unstuck and move forward. I am your host, Dr. Faith. My platform is Triumphant Living Enterprises, and my goal is to empower you to live triumphantly. Here in the Empowerment Studios with me is none other. You guys saw her last month. She did her thing. Miss Evangelist Jackie Stamps. Evangelist Jackie Stamps is the associate pastor of Total Life Christian Ministries. You remember, she's a gospel artist. You already know this. She is an author, and she is the founder of Virtuous Women of God Ministries, and she hits up that midday praise, you guys. So I hope you have joined her thus far with that. We have as well the international executive coach himself, Mr. CJ Besa with CJ Besa Live. He is also a world-renowned artist. He is an author, and he's going to tell you all about his latest book. He's a host of some awesome life-changing series, and I can't wait for him to share his experiences. He's a father of three. He's a lover of God and of Christ and all things worshiper. So he's ready to pour into you all this evening as well. I want to take the time to welcome our distinguished guests on the many platforms tonight. Facebook Live, if you're live with us, please drop a comment. I want you to follow, like this broadcast, and most of all, share it tonight. And if you have a question and if you have a comment you want to engage tonight, please, the room is open and welcome to you to engage as well. So YouTube friends, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then Clubhouse, welcome again. I want to thank you all for taking the time to stop in. If you have a question, you could drop it in my DM on Instagram, or come on over to the Facebook Live platform and follow us here in the comments thread, and then ask your questions there. So go through my Instagram page, follow my link tree, and it will give you my Facebook Live. So the introductions are out the way, you all. You ready to help these people tonight to get unstuck and stay that way?
Right on, right on. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, wonderful. Let's do this. So, as we're on the topic of get unstuck and stay that way, let's start with the terminology first. I want to make sure everybody's on the same page, CJ and Evangelist Jackie, when it comes to the word getting unstuck. So let's talk about, first of all, what does it mean to be stuck?
Okay, to be unstuck, not moving, staying in the same place, doing the same things, not changing.
Okay.
Not changing. Yeah, you know, it was a time in my life where I was stuck. I couldn't move. I thought that was where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I kept saying I made myself be in the same place instead of me being able to move. So I allowed myself to get stuck. Yeah. In the same things, doing the same repetitive things over and over. You know, you do the same things, you get the same results.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's what I think.
Isn't that a formula for insanity?
That's what they call it. That's what they call it. Absolutely.
And insanity.
To add to what Evangelist Jackie said, because I deal with a lot of executives and people who are either running their own businesses or they're leading companies or organizations. Stuck, or to get unstuck, the way I'm going to describe it tonight, is where a person has actually achieved a lot of things, and they're actually in a comfort zone where things are, you know, there is nothing really wrong. Okay. But what happens is there is that next thing in their life, and they don't know how to get there because they feel like they're tapped out. They feel like the best they can, and they're not suffering. They're comfortable, and that word it means they're in the comfort zone. And so the comfort zone, they realize that there's that in their spirit, there is that wantingness to get to that next level.
Okay.
And at next level, they don't have any way to get there. Everything that they did to get where they are, everything that they know they can do, they've done. And that's stuck.
Whoa. So you two have delivered two complementary definitions and interpretations for being stuck. Evangelist Jackie, you spoke to being immovable, insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. It's not going to happen. You're stuck and you have to find a different way. And CJ, you brought to the platform of the person who is achieved in his or her position and role, but their stuck is, it sounds like a level of complacency. Right. Not willing or knowing how to move on to the next level of experiences. So I really do like those two diverse definitions. Let me throw something in there for a third interpretation of stuck. So when I think about stuck, I think, first of all, it's a way of thinking. Mm-hmm. Right? I think it's more, I use it more in the terminology of an adjective describing a verb. So it's the past tense of stick, right? Unable to move in a set particular place or position. So whether you're in a place, whether you're in a position, it's all mental, right? So nothing has to be holding you back, but just mentally, you cannot see past where you are. So therefore, you're just stuck and not able to move forward. So I'd like to add to tonight's conversation from the mental perspective of that individual who's mentally just stuck. It doesn't have to be something holding you back. You don't have to be in chains. You're just basically stuck in your way of thinking. Right. Can't get past an experience, stuck. Can't get past somebody hurt you, stuck. So I want to add in tonight's conversation, we're going to talk to you about the complacency that's holding you back. We're going to just talk about being immobile and doing the wrong thing over and over and wanting different results, insanity. And then we're also going to just talk about shifting gears in your mind first to get you moving past that stuck stage or state of being or experience. So I love it. I love it. So let's move on tonight. I want to welcome those who are sharing the broadcast. Love it. Love it. Thank you all so much. Make sure you connect with my guests tonight. They are embedded in the posting tonight on Facebook. As we talk about getting past being stuck, tell me this, guys, and we'll start with you first, CJ. What causes one to feel stuck?
So I think you touched on something when you talked about mindset.
Yes.
And the way I look at a mindset is that a person has set his mind on a particular thought or belief. And what happens is if your mind is set on a belief, what it does is it doesn't allow you to grow beyond what you believe, because one can never do anything beyond what they believe about themselves or about others. So if your belief about yourself is that this is the best that you can do, that's your belief, your mind is set, that's your mindset.
Yes.
And so until you decide to think another thought, what happens is that's where you're going to be stuck. And a lot of people have a mindset about money. Let's talk about, let's say, money.
Okay.
And mindset about money is something that they learned 45 or 25 or 15 years ago from grandma. And they haven't had any new thought or any new lesson, any new ideas about money. So essentially, they're stuck in the same place of how they use money.
Okay.
And they want to grow beyond where they are. They just don't know that they're stuck, because the statement stuck doesn't seem to apply to them. But for the last 15 years, the way they use money is exactly the same way. They barely have anything outside of what they receive. They don't have anything new coming in. They're just holding on to maybe a couple of jobs. That's a mindset where you're stuck. Now, you might not realize that you're stuck because everything of yours is working. You're working your job. You're doing all of the things that you're doing that you think you ought to be doing at this age.
Okay.
In order for you to do a new thing, you got to think a new thought. And I think thinking the new thought is challenging, especially if you don't have the open-mindedness to receive new thinking. Now, a lot of people believe that they are open-minded.
Okay.
But a lot of people are not actually open-minded. People are tolerant. In other words, they'll listen to an idea. And then they'll say, well, I like your idea, but see, the way that my mind is set, again, we're coming to mindset, the way that my mind is set up, mindset is that I can't do that. And when they say they can't do it, they're about to tell you where they are stuck. I can't do that because. Listen to the statement that anybody says to you after I can't do it because they're going to explain to you their limiting belief.
Oh my gosh, CJ, that is a mouthful. Listen, that just feels like a learned behavior.
Yes,
learned behavior. They saw that behavior growing up as a child, and they've learned to adapt, and they are just in compliance with that learned behavior. Yeah. So listen to the reason why they feel they can't do a certain thing. They will confess the reason why they cannot do a certain thing. Love it, love it. Evangelist Jackie, what are some things that causes people to be stuck?
Well, one of the things y'all already pretty much said on was a mindset.
Okay.
Another thing is they've been at the same place so long, they've always did it the same way.
Yes.
So they don't want to stay in that same predicament because they feel like it's more comfortable. And anything that moves them into a place of being uncomfortable, they're not going to move. They're preferring to be, they feel they're being where they are. They don't want to do any better because we've always did it this way.
And it's been working.
Yeah, it's been working. So they're looking at like, why am I gonna move now? That's another thing, you know. And they were like, okay, well, I see they did it and it didn't work for them, so I'm gonna stay right here where I am because it's working for me right the way I'm doing it right
now. See, that's good. So safety.
Yeah.
They want to stay in that safety zone. If you're listening tonight and any of this resonates with you, we want to hear from you. What makes you want to stay safe? Why would you play it safe? How can you win playing safe? How can you move forward playing it safe? And you all, this brings just another thought to my mind, the fear of failure.
Yeah.
The fear of failure. People don't want to fail, y'all. What is up with that? Not wanting to fail. Look, what's the benefits of failing? Can we address that? Let's go straight to it. What are some benefits of failing? Is failing all wrong?
So I can definitely speak to this because I have that whole chapter of the fear of failure in my book, Becoming CEO of Your Life.
Good.
And the way I break it down there is I talk about, first of all, what does fear actually mean?
Yes.
A lot of people say that fear is an acronym, which is face everything and rise. You've heard many acronyms that describe what fear ought to be, you know, but fear, those are not really the definitions of fear. The definition of fear is really when a person is in a place where they fear the pain of doing, the experience of pain. And so because they fear an experience of pain, maybe gathered from previous actions where they failed before, they don't want to deal with the pain. And so not wanting to deal with the pain causes them to fear doing anything new in the future or in the present. So it debilitates them right where they are. So a person, you know, invests $5,000.
Yeah.
$5,000 goes down and they lose it. And they hear back from their spouse about how they lost that money.
Okay.
Well, you know, that conversation is going to stay in their heart. And now when they think about investing $200, they're going to think again, do I have what it takes? They're going to think of the pain of the last time that they did. And so now they don't have the confidence to do a new thing because the old experiences are the experiences of the future that can bring them to a greater self.
Absolutely.
Experiences of the past keep you in the past. That's why it's debilitating. It's the thing that keeps you in place so that you can't move forward because you fear that you will repeat the same thing. Again,
come on, Coach Besa. Come on. Growth. Yes, the pain. It's the fear of the pain associated with the change. Because in order to grow, you have to stretch, right? You have to be molded, right? Some things have to be trimmed off in order for you to grow effectively, right? So some people fear that change and moving forward because they don't want the pain of growth. Oh, we onto something tonight. Oh, we getting to the root of the situation tonight, people. I just want to shout out really quick and let Evangelist Jackie jump on in because I know I feel it. I know you're about to contribute. Let me recognize Natasha Roberts. Welcome, Natasha. Natasha says, I'll rather be uncomfortable. Yeah. And see, that's exactly what it's going to take. It's going to take you just making up in your mind, I'm going to be uncomfortable with this change. But if change is what I want, I have to succumb to this discomfort temporarily until I make it to where it is I desire to be. Welcome, John. Alabama Hammer Robinson says, failing is movement. Keep trying. See, that's a good coach right there. John says, keep trying. Right? It is movement. Welcome to my Clubhouse fans. Thank you all so much for being a part. If you would like to join us on the live, please follow my link tree and Instagram. I would love for you all to comment on what we're discussing. You can also DM me on Instagram if you have a comment to share. I will shout you out here in this interview. But let Evangelist Jackie just go ahead on and jump right in. Evangelist, talk to us about what causes this stuckation. Just a little bit.
Let me say hello to Natasha. That's one of my church members from
Hey, Natasha.
Of course. And a friend of ours, John. God bless y'all. But
bless you.
I found out that every time that I would step out and move and uncomfortable, I fall. I would make mistakes. I learned from those mistakes.
Absolutely.
It taught me that, okay, this didn't work this time, but that means go back to what you were doing. It means try something new. It means to keep moving. It means to keep trying something, keep walking, keep going forward. Don't go back to the things of the old. See,
absolutely.
Old things are passed away. All things become new.
Bring it.
We got to step out of the place of being complacent in the same old places where we be in the same old season, the same way of going, same way of talking, the same way of walking. And we got to learn how to be okay when we fall sometimes. Because as a child, I would ride the bike. At times, God bless you, Hope. At times, I would ride a bike, but I would fall.
Yeah.
But it was in the getting up is where I learned how to ride again, how to get back up, pick up my bike, dust myself off, get on the bike, stand up again, put my leg back on that bike and begin to push myself off again. I had to fall several times before I got into a place to understand, even in my fall, I still learned how to get back up.
Come on now.
How to learn to walk brand new, how to listen. And when I was riding the bike, when I got back up, and the bike began to move, it goes side to side, Coach. It wobbles a little bit, but as you're riding, it starts to straighten up. And as it's straightening up, you're starting to stand up stronger and taller, and then you're going forward. You're pressing forward.
Yes.
To get to a different place from where you were. Instead of you staying down, see, I could have stayed down and said, I'm not getting back on this bike because I don't want it. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like it because it hurts. Yeah. But I've learned that in my fall is where God is doing his best work on the inside.
Come on. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, if you're listening tonight and you fall in any of these scenarios, we're talking about you have achieved, you are somewhere in your life, but you just need to learn how to get unstuck from that level and reach into that next vision that you have for your life. Listen, Coach CJ is giving you and dropping some gems for you. If you feel like you are on that bike of life, on that trail, and you just keep failing, you keep falling, you're skinning up your knees, you're messing up, it's painful. You just heard Evangelist Jackie. She said you got to get back up and learn that balance, and it will sustain you until you master the movements that you need, until you master the focus that you need, until you master becoming comfortable with your new environment. Come on, Evangelist Jackie. You got to get up and keep moving on this bike called life, y'all. You can't stay stuck where you are. And let me tell you, Coach CJ, Evangelist Jackie, I realize that when God calls you to move forward, when God calls you to progress, when God calls you as a pioneer, you will always find that you're in a new arena, and the people not necessarily behind you level wise, but the people of familiarity usually are not the ones who are able to help you. Am I right? Can I get a little amen or something, y'all?
Yep.
Because so many times when we're moving forward, when God has called us to do a new thing, to have a new experience, to be the first in our family to do something, to be the first in business to do something, or even in history, y'all, God call us to be history makers and changers, it will always be naturally uncomfortable. You will always be at that learner's level, no matter, like CJ said, how big and esteemed you are. There is always a learning level to the new. You see what I'm saying? So you just got to get used to, like our guests tonight, y'all, they blowing up these comments. Are you seeing these comments? People are going in. You got to get used to, like Jackie said, the discomfort, the pain, the skins, the mess up, because it's going to teach you what not to do in that new position, what not to say, you know, how not to behave. It's necessary, y'all. It's necessary. The failure, the mess ups, it's necessary, y'all, in order to mold you and to make you the person who can be established in that new arena. That old, Evangelist Jackie said it, that old skin, that old way of being, it can't sustain you in the new. So you got to be willing to pursue and move forward. Oh boy, listen here. Listen. Y'all talking tonight. Let's jump in on some of these comments. I'm seeing some comments going tonight. Pastor Marlon, how you doing? Welcome. Pastor Marlon says, failure is not to try. When you don't try at all, you done failed. Come on, my friend. It's not to try. Say that. Julie Hendricks, my sister, speak to those dry bones. Get up, dry bones. Hear the word of the Lord. Sister Hope says, walk in newness after the few limps and band-aids. Come on now. Natasha is amening over there. Hope is amening. Oh yeah, we talking. We in the place. Guys, if you're enjoying tonight's live conversation, Get Unstuck, we're about to tell you how to stay that way. Hang on in there. Help us share this broadcast with your followers, and make sure you guys are following and liking my guest pages as well. So we're about to bring it on home, but we're on third base right now. We're on third base, right? We just warmed it up. We just pitched it. We just made sure we're running it in. But before we do y'all have a story that you could share in transparency of a time in about 3 minutes, 2 minutes, if you can each, of when you felt stuck and what was your solution to that?
Definitely, I can share a story. I would say, when I was, first of all, I think when I was just getting into the working, mode, starting to work and having a job and doing things like that, right? Fresh out of college or whatever.
Yes.
And, I remember at that time I was working in a call center job.
Okay.
In the call center, I was earning $40,000.
Wow.
And I had started a trucking business on the side with a semi truck. So I was doing two things. And I found that whenever I would earn good money or my call center job, my semi truck would pack up and then I'd have to fix that. And when the semi was running great, I wouldn't have a driver and I'd have to spend a lot of time finding a driver. Sometimes it took 3 or 4 months before I found a good one. So it's there for 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
And what I was realizing was none of those areas were ever moving at the same time. I was trying to grow, but I was stuck. I was trying to double my income. I was trying to grow from where I was to getting out of a dead-end job and to having a thriving business. And so, I thought I have done everything that I could possibly do. Like what else could I possibly do to grow from here? And I remember one Christmas when the truck, packed up somewhere in Kentucky, it broke down and it was not going to move from there. And I remember thinking, I was depending on that truck for Christmas gifts this year.
Yeah.
So I sold that truck. And I decided I was going to invest in myself to grow my mind, to invest in mentorship and find people who could think alongside me to grow beyond where I was. It was hard to do that, to make that investment. But I spent about $8,000 or $9,000 going into it, which is what I had used to sell the truck.
Yeah.
It was probably the best investment that I did, because now I started to understand how you can truly grow your income.
Yes.
Where I was, which wasn't to work harder, which is what I thought it was.
Ah.
My mentality, to grow my ability to apply myself, to grow who I am.
Absolutely.
Who as an individual, I started to recognize that my salary started to double. Now,
I love it.
People might say, well, you know, maybe you've got some expertise that helps you to double your salary, but guess what? You've doubled your salary yourself. When you started in the industry, you weren't earning what you were earning now. If you look at what you're earning now, you have literally doubled. You wouldn't work for $15 an hour anymore. Yeah. Why is that? The reason is because there was a target, a goal in your mind that you set. And now, because you have the experience you have got to where you are. Well, let me add this to you. If with what you now know, you got to where you got to, imagine if you were fully equipped to be able to get to where you desired to go because you got mentorship or you got the resources. If you are where you are now only because you have the resources that you have, and those were limited at best, what could you do if you have the professional tools to get you there?
Oh,
for your income.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Coach CJ, sharing from the wealth building financial aspect. We could be in a rut too, thinking that the money is going to be our answer. And you saw through experience that you, God's creation, your mind, the great work that you're doing now, you decided to invest, but you had to let go of the old, that truck, that revenue, that stream of income to walk into the new wealth building mindset. I love it. I love it. Evangelist Jackie, do you have an experience of a time when you felt stuck? Evangelist Jackie, how did you get out of it?
I do. It's strange, and mine was more so I can look back now and know that it was a spiritual warfare that I was going through. The enemy, he knows the path that God has for your life. He knows who you are to become, because God already designated your purpose in your mother's womb. So at this time, I had just my first year of college, and I got pregnant with my son. Okay. And at that time, I was like, didn't have, a lot of people saying you can go to school, you can finish school and, have a child. All I kept hearing was, no, you got to get out, you got to leave school, you got to get a job, you got to leave school. And I was in that place of, I had become really depressed at that time, because I had just got married at 18. Okay. The baby, and I dropped out of college at that time. And my husband, he was young, I was young, and I got a little restaurant job, trying to make ends meet, and we're young, we didn't know any better. So I was like, I know this can't be what I'm supposed to be doing. I was like, God, why is this happening to me? What did I do wrong? And I was like, I just feel like, there was no way I was gonna be able to move, because I was in a restaurant. I'm a mom. I gotta take care of a newborn baby. Right. My then husband, he was young, so he was still doing his thing. We weren't really old enough to understand what relationship was. Right. With us, that long relationship with the Lord at the time. Yeah. So we was like back and forth, and I had gotten to a place where like I just didn't care. I was like, just gonna make sure me and my baby have, and I was just like, I just want to throw in the towel, I just want to give up. And all of a sudden, it's like God spoke to me then. Yes. This is not the time to give up. This is not the time. And I'm like, who keeps saying that? Right. Like, not having. This is different. I'm young. I'm like, who keeps saying it's not time to give up? So I'm like, okay. So then I'm steady going to work, and next thing I know, my dad. We've not always had the greatest relationship. To God be the glory for the newness. Yes. But at the time, my dad, out the blue, says he comes by. We were in a garage apartment, and he said, "I'm paying for you to go and get trade, education. I'm gonna pay for you to go to school for cosmetology, so you can make something of yourself for you and your son." Because when you're young and you get pregnant, of course, my dad didn't care for my then husband. Right. So I was like, my dad is very, I would say, frugal, the word. He cheat. He don't like make it plain. You know, like he's not gonna just give out money freely. That's why I knew, that it was a push from God for me to get off my body. Because I mean, I was like, what's the point?
Right.
Nothing's going right anyway. So here, and all of a sudden he sent him by, paid for my whole year of college to go to school for cosmetology. And I graduated from cosmetology and was doing hair. And I was like, wait a minute, how did this happen?
Right. It just happened.
It's like God thrust me to place, to move. Because he said there was, I have more purpose.
There you go.
And not knowing that there was how much more he had. But I had to be pushed, because if I wasn't pushed, I would have been in the same place. I would have been there, just me and my baby sitting in the house, not going anywhere, just depressed, just sitting there looking at the walls. But God sent forth and used my dad.
Love it. Love it. And as you all are both sharing, thank you for sharing that, Evangelist Jackie. I think about a course, which is the inception of this platform tonight, Get Unstuck and Stay That Way, my first premium online course that I launched last year. A portion of that, I help people, if you find yourself in a scenario mentioned here or wherever you are right now, I tell people that the key to getting unstuck, think about your why. The purpose your life serves is so much bigger than you. So you're not just getting unstuck for yourself temporarily, you're getting unstuck for generations to come. You're getting unstuck for the trajectory of your life to be altered and changed. So it is so much more meaning when you can think about the bigger picture. Why can't I stay here as a teenage mom and just do whatever I want with life? No, Minister Jackie, you had people in your ministry, women and men, that you had to lead, that you were called to empower. So God had to get you unstuck. Sent your daddy who don't spend money on nobody. You knew that was your sign that God was on your side. So even though you were afraid, right? You hadn't experienced that before. You had to move forward because God opened a door for you. So I encourage you listening tonight, if you are seeing those open doors, don't retreat and run back. Go through those doors. Whoever God uses in your life to plant a seed to help you, to help you move forward, say yes. I encourage my clients, I encourage people I work with, just say yes. Say yes to life. You don't have to have all the answers in the blueprint, but just say yes. I'm willing to experience this new experience. I'm willing to give in to my fears. I'm willing to give in to just trying to keep myself safe. I'm going to say yes. I give in. I'm afraid I'm not going to make it, but just know that God is with you because there's a bigger picture to your why. And I believe that's what he's pushing you into when you feel that you're resistant to getting unstuck because you're so comfortable. So I encourage you all tonight, think about the bigger picture. Is there any advice you all would add in closing to someone listening tonight who need that extra push to move forward? I want to remind everybody to get the momentum and focus on your why. Most definitely. I believe that's a big picture item. What would you all say to that? Any last advice?
Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let fear hold you back. Be a tool that's keeping you from your next. Fear is one of the things that will come upon you and it'll keep you in that same stuck place because you're afraid to move. But I've told you once before, and I'm saying it again, if fear is something that is causing you to be stuck, do it afraid. And God will begin to break those things off of you once you go out and step out on faith. And Peter stepped out the boat and began to walk towards Jesus. You got to step out on faith and believe that God can move mountains. Look, I can speak this to you because I'm in that place in certain areas of my life, and I'm believing that God is going to do it for someone on this live that's listening today.
Come on,
let God break off the fear and step out on faith.
Love it, love it.
And I'll add to that and say that decision making is one of the most, the way I say it in my ebook that I have out right now. I say that lack of decision making is the second root of all evil.
Okay.
And to qualify that, I realize that the challenge for most people is that they don't make decisions about their life. They haven't decided what they're going to do. They haven't decided where they're going to go. They haven't decided what it is they're gonna, how they look 10, 20, 50 years from now. They haven't made a decision. And what happens with being stuck is most people haven't made that decision that they're gonna be unstuck. And the way by choosing what you're gonna be, by choosing where you're gonna be. Do you wanna be, 50 pounds less weight? Do you wanna make more money? Do you want to be healthier? Do you want to live in a nicer neighborhood? They haven't made a decision. And until you make that decision, your mind doesn't know what to do, because your mind is like a GPS. When you leave here going to California from Orlando, you're going to have to tell your GPS where to go. And the GPS knows how to get you there.
Right.
You haven't made a decision that you're going to get there. Scrambles. And a lot of people's minds is scrambling because they haven't decided, because you read the verse, write down the vision and make it plain. Well, I've found that a lot of people haven't written down the verse or write down the vision because they made a decision in the first place.
That's good.
Not to go anywhere. So decision making is going to be your first thing. Once you've made that decision, you're going to need to affirm the decision that you made. You're going to need to affirm that you are the one that deserves the good that you decided that you want.
Come on.
You're going to have to affirm on that. You're going to have to agree with you about it. And then when you agree with you about it, then you're going to write it down and start the first step forward. Whatever is easier for you to start with, take that step.
Yeah.
If it's too hard for you to do, that's not the one. Take the easiest step. What's the next step you can do? Because guess what? Every great plan of mine, every success of mine started out with just that one step.
Come on, y'all. Are you guys loving this? Listen, we're blowing up in the comments right here. We got some amen, some hallelujahs. Thank you so much, Hope, for sharing the broadcast. I love this. So do it afraid. Evangelist Jackie just gave you the first tip. Do it afraid. Jump out there, you guys. You're going to get bruised, ill, hurt, but God will send you help along the way. That's where your faith comes in, right? Coach CJ just said you have to decide. If you don't even make a decision, it's not going to happen. So that is your second tip. And the third I want to toss on there, listen, use your words to frame your world. I am able to do this. Right? Don't say what you can't do. Focus on what you can do. And if you feel you can't do it, by the grace of God, I will succeed because God is with me. And I'm telling you, when you use your words to frame your life, things start happening. God start putting things in motion, because why? You come in agreement with his calling and his purpose for you. So your mind is aligned. Therefore, your actions align. And then your environment has to align too. But guys, you got to do it afraid. You got to start making that decision to get unstuck, and then use the power of your words. Declare your future. What is it going to look like? What do you want in life? And then watch how God will move heaven and earth to get you there, because you came in agreement with what it is he's designed for you to have. And if you're still unclear after these 3 steps, sit down somewhere and ask God, help me, because I'm feeling stuck. I need to get unstuck. So please show me what it is that you have called me to do. And when you open yourself up and say, yes, I know I'm in a bad place, I need to get unstuck, that's when you're going to begin to see God work things out through you and for you. So now in closing, I want to thank our listeners right now, shouting you out on Facebook. You guys was rocking with us tonight. I love it. I love it. I love it. Also on YouTube, I want to shout you all too. Clubhouse, shouting you all out for joining us on the platform tonight. Thank you so much, because Evangelist Jackie and Coach CJ, it's always a pleasure to partner with you all to help people in the arena of changing their mind, changing their lifestyle, changing and enhancing their spirit. I picture us as a trio here. We're doing some good work. So I cannot wait to see where we take this series in our next topic that we're going to bring to the table. But again, guys, we're laying the foundation. Listeners, get ready to like, get ready to join us next time we come on this platform, because now we've laid the foundation. If you need to rewind, listen, let this get into your spirit. Make sure it lays that foundation like it is intended to do, because we're about to build on it. Next time we come and we're talking to business owners who need to get unstuck. Next time we're talking to ministers who need to get unstuck to move into the calling that God God has for them. We're talking to entrepreneurs. We're talking to kingdom-minded people. We're talking to people who's ready to build and move forward. So we're going to exclusively talk to some targeted audiences next time. So we want you all to definitely be a part. Evangelist Jackie, tell the people how to connect with you, dear, and how to reach you. And then Coach Besa, if you could do the same as well.
Good evening, everybody. Once again, before we leave, you can reach me on Midday Praise every Monday and Friday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live. Come by and get a lift of Jesus. Wherever you may be doing, get yourself some Jesus. Also, you can reach me by way of Instagram, again, Jackie Staff Ministries. And you can find me as the TikTok queen, uplifting of God and lifting up everybody with a smile of Jesus wherever they go. I am here. And listen, don't forget to go and get the book.
Yes.
Don't forget and go and get the book. The book is entitled Sandpaper. I am the author of this book. And sandpaper will be those tests and trials that you've been going through. God is going to use the test to sandpaper you into your purpose, and you will come out smoother than you came into it. Amen.
Love it. Thank you, sis.
God bless.
Yeah, and for me, you know, I always say that I like to help people to be able to do the thing that I've taught them to do. And that's why I started writing books, because I realized when I was speaking to a lot of people, they would be excited while we were speaking, but afterwards they didn't know what to do. So I'm going to start by giving you a practical step that you can take. Okay. And then I'm going to encourage you to get this ebook, because that's where I teach the majority of this work. For every day, for at least 15 minutes a day. Okay. Here's my encouragement to you. Every day for 15 minutes a day, take a pen and a pad and sit down somewhere. Now, and then just listen to your thoughts for 15 minutes. And then everything that you desire to do, your vision, anything that comes to your mind about what is possible for me. Okay. Write that stuff down for only 15 minutes a day, no more than that. But every day for 15 minutes, faithfully do this, even on a Sunday. Okay. Here's what's going to happen. At first, you're going to get nothing. But after a couple of days, you're going to start to see that a lot of thoughts are starting to pour into you. Okay. And these thoughts are going to help you to become something more, because these are going to be God's thoughts. Yes. And they're going to start to appear. And what you do is you write them down indiscriminately. Don't say, I can't because. Just write down those thoughts. And for 15 minutes a day, that's about 80 hours of thinking time a year. Awesome. And when you do that, what you're going to find is you're going to find many brilliant ideas that had never come to you before that you could begin to use to change your life, and even begin to share ideas with others. Now, that's one of the ideas I share in this ebook called Becoming 7 Steps to Becoming Unstuck. Okay. And you can find that on destinyactivation.com. Awesome. Destinyactivation.com. Just go and check it out. It's an ebook. It's barely a 30-minute read, but once you get through it, you're going to have the steps, and you're going to know precisely what you need to do to get where you need to go. It's hard to go from here to there if you haven't decided that there to go to. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you all so very much. I'm so blessed. I am leaving this interview full tonight. So thank you all for that. So we're going to wrap this session up. If you guys would like to connect with me, like there on my Facebook page, follow me, DRLorettafaithharris.com. I would love to assist you in the areas of getting unstuck. My premium course is there. Go ahead and download that. You have to pay a fee first. Come on now. Everything isn't free. Invest in this 7-day deep mind detox that will give you the roadmap to getting unstuck and staying that way. So follow me here. We're going to be back, and we're going to come and talk more extensively to our business owners, to our ministers. I feel it strongly, y'all. You with me? Y'all with me, CJ? You with me, Jackie? Let's do this thing. Who's that handsome man you have there, CJ? I love it when he pops into our interviews. Guys, until next time, continue to be empowered to live the triumphant life. Have a blessed evening. Thank you all so much for joining us. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Good night.